I'm Marcia Hutchinson. I'm the Director of Administration and Finance for the Commission, and I'm going to be doing a short demonstration of the Amplifund application that you will be using to submit your proposal. As Jason mentioned a couple of times already, sometime tomorrow, October 24th, we will be adding a link to our application to our webpage on our website, and you will simply need to click that link to take you to our application. There is a process that you'll have to go through to set up your login information, and you will have to agree to the terms and conditions of Amplifund hosting our application. But once you get through your login process, you will be taken to kind of the home page for our application in Amplifund that looks like this. So to start your application, you just simply need to hit the apply button. I've already got my application started, so I'm going to just indicate that I want to open up the application that has already been begun. And as you work through your application, you'll go through that process too when you log in. So this is the application in Amplifund, and a very important part of this application is this little block of buttons up here at the top, which is the navigation bar. This will show you the different parts of the application in Amplifund, and as you work on your application, you can navigate from one section to another simply by clicking on these top bars here in the navigation bar. So again, there is a Opportunities Details page that is part of the application. When you start your application, you'll be required to complete the project information section, which is the beginning of the application. So I'm just going to review the fields that are in here quickly. You'll need to give your application a name and try to be descriptive if you can about the type of project you'll be submitting in your application name. You'll be asked the amount that you are requesting in total as payment, and the amount that you put in this information will have to match the payment information that you submit later on as part of your application. So if you don't know what that is right in the beginning, you don't have to complete it, but by the time you submit your application, you will have to come back and complete that field. You'll be asked to provide us with some primary contact information, and I think for most of you, the information here is probably going to match the cover page, which is Appendix B of the RFP that is also required as an upload to your application. At the end of this section and at the end of each section of the application, you'll have three buttons at the bottom. There is a Save button. There's the one here which will, in some cases, if you haven't completed it, say Save and Complete. This one's already been marked as complete. Or you can Save and Continue. And if you Save and Continue, it will automatically move you to the next section of the application. I'm going to encourage you as you work on your application to hit Save and Save often, because if you get called away from your application and you've done some things that haven't been saved, after 15 minutes of idle time, you will be automatically logged out of the system. It'll give you a little warning and say, oh, you've been idle, do you want to leave? So if you're watching it, you can get back in, but if you're not there and you don't see it, it will log you out automatically, and anything that hasn't been saved will be lost. So I just encourage you to hit Save as you work through the application. Again, if I hit Save and Continue, it's going to take me automatically to the next section of the application. This is really, this section called Application Forms is really the meat of your proposal. And you'll see up here in the navigation bar, it includes two forms. Again, you can just move back and forth by clicking different sections of this navigation bar to go from one area of the application to another. So we have two different application forms as part of this proposal process. They're shown down here in this little table. The name of each of the sections is in the first column of the table. The status of each of those components is in the middle, and then at any time you can hit the print button and print different sections of the application. Or you can also hit this download button here and download the entire application at any time if you want to do that. I'm going to open up the next section of the application by clicking on the name, see what Verified Nutrient Reductions application. And I just want to scroll through and show you different types of fields that are part of the application form. So any form that is in this application that is required information is marked with a little star here after at the name of the field. So you will be required to complete anything that has an asterisk after the name of the field. Some fields do have limits on the number of characters that you can put in them. And if there's a limit, there's a little new number that shows up at the bottom of the field. So if I just click in this field and say, oh, I want to add my last few digits, you'll see that as I add digits, the number of fields will be reduced to the point where when I get to 0, I wouldn't be able to add any more. Some fields, there is some formatting that we would like you to follow. So if there's a preferred format, it'll be shown right here beside the name of the field. So we'd ask that you just complete the information in that field according to the format that's requested. And then we've already made a number of references to uploading files. So at different points of the application, you'll see that there is a statement or a question that will be shown, such as this one. And then all you simply do is hit the choose file field, and it will take you to your computer so that you can choose a file to upload. You can choose to upload multiple files in some cases if there is more than one file that you want to include in your application. Some parts of the application require descriptions and a large amount of text. These will be formatted the way that this looks. And so you just simply click in the text field and you can type, and you can also format using this toolbar. These are very similar to things that you're probably used to using to format text in Word. There are some questions that are multiple choice, so you will be required, if it's marked with an asterisk, to answer the question and to either click the little circles beside your multiple choice options to make a selection. Again, here's a couple more examples of places where we are requesting that you upload files. So there is a project site details spreadsheet that we will be supplying. Again, it will be available on our website. You will need to complete that spreadsheet and upload it in this section of your application. Andy's already talked about cast runs, so very important that you look at the instructions that we're going to be adding to the website and follow the instructions for your cast model runs, and then upload those by choosing choose file here in this part of the application. We do have some parts of the application that have tables that need to be filled out, so here's an example of a table. You just click in the different fields in the table and complete those. Some of them are numeric fields, so if it's a numeric field, it will already have little zeros in there. It'll show you whether there are decimals required or not. And you just simply click in that field of the application and put your numbers in to answer the statement or the question that's there. Again, a couple more examples of places where we're requiring some narrative for you to complete. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. We are asking for you to upload a map of your project location as part of your application, and also some more tables and things to complete. So again, once we get to the end of this application, I would encourage you to save as you're working through, because this is a very long section of the application. You can save and continue at any time. Or if you think that you are finished with that section of the application, you can mark it as complete. Obviously, there are many fields here that have not been completed yet. So if I hit mark complete, you'll see that I got an application error message. If there are fields that are required to be completed that you have missed or you haven't completed, you'll see that you'll get little red pop-ups beside the fields that will indicate that the field is required. And so in order to submit your application, you'll have to go back and complete all of those fields that are marked as being required fields. If I'm not done, I'm just going to save and continue. So whatever I put in there is still there, and I can circle back and work on sections that I haven't completed later. Jason also talked about required application certifications. Again, if we went back to the forms, we can get to that section by clicking on the name in this little forms table. It'll take you to application certifications that you need to complete. So you'll have to affirm each of these statements by clicking yes, and when you're done with that, let's mark one as complete so you can see what that looks like. It's confirming for me that I have completed that section successfully because all required sections were completed. So if we go back to the application forms, you'll see that the status now of this section of the application is marked as complete. I can see that I still have things to do in the nutrient reductions application form. So the last section of the application is obviously the submit button. If we go to that section, because I have not successfully completed all sections of the application, I have a big red statement here that tells me that I'm not done, and Amplifund will not let you submit your application until you have circled back and you have completed all sections of the application. Things that are successfully completed will show a check mark in your navigation bar up here. So I can tell that I don't need to do anything with these two sections, that I've got some things that I need to finish in the application forms. Again, if I go back to that section, I can tell that there's only one place to go because my application certifications are complete, so I would have to go back into this application section and complete all of the required fields and mark it, say it complete, save and complete, in order to get a checkbox here and be at a place where I can submit my application. If you have completed something, but you want to go back and make changes to your application, you can still do that. But once you are at the submit page and you hit this submit button, your application will be submitted and you will not be able to circle back and make any changes to it after you've submitted it to us. So I just encourage you to go back and review and make sure that you don't want to make any changes before you get to that point where you are hitting that submit button. I think it's fairly user-friendly and easy to understand, so I hope you guys find that as well. Thank you.
As you get access to the application and you start going through it, if you find that you have questions on Amplifund or questions on filling the application itself, you would still contact that Conowingo WIP at srbc.gov email, except in the subject line, you would just let us know, like say, Amplifund question or application question. So we would know to direct it either to Marcia or to our IT department.